Hey guys, let's talk about word formation again, right? We already checked those answers in class, so I will just mention them briefly here, only for you to have them recorded, okay? Number one, a person who acts for a living is called an actress or actor. A musician is someone who earns money from writing music. She didn't become famous as a novelist until her 17th novel was published. In part 5 of the FC exam, your speaking ability will be assessed by the examiner. At the end of the interview, the interviewee asked if he could be shown around the company he would work for. So, interviewee, and we also have the interviewer, who is the person that interviews the interviewee, right? Okay, so only for you to remember, here we are talking about the person who is being interviewed, because we are not only talking about jobs but also about functions, okay? The waiter asked the waitress if she would help him deal with a difficult customer. So, waitress. An accountant, double C, is someone who will be able to go through your accounts and work out how much money you have. Visitors to the castle are expected to come during visiting times only. Okay, those examples are from the website Flojo. Answer key again. Part 2, forming nouns. My teacher says there has been a big improvement in my English lately. The recipe says you only need to add 2 spoonfuls of salt. Why did you do that? I thought you had more intelligence than that. The singer gave a brilliant performance on the stage yesterday. Have you seen her magazine collection? She must have over 200 editions. On hearing the news, everyone was overcome with a feeling of sadness. When you take the FCE speaking paper, you will be given marks for your accuracy. And also on how fluent you are. She has the ability to pass the exam first time round, providing she works hard. Okay, let's go on. Okay, let's talk about negative prefixes, but I have to tell you, those prefixes are not only for denying the word, but also to present an opposite idea, okay? Not only negative ideas here. And I have some rules here. They say that when we have this prefix here, ill, it's because the word starts with L. And when we have this one here, it's because the word starts with R. Okay? And this one, it's because the word starts with M or P. So those are the only ones here we can really highlight rule, okay? However, we do have exceptions, as they say, but not always, right? And I will give you one example. So the word, for example, disrespectful, it starts with R, respectful, right? But when we need to deny, we don't say irrespectful, for example, okay? So disrespectful. Okay, so disrespectful, okay? So let's see. Some of them here, you can add to the words to form those negative words there, let's say this way, right? So can you please do it? Please pause the video because next time I will show you the answers. Very good. And those are the answers, okay? Of course, as I told you, we also have examples of words that use those prefixes here and are not negative exactly, but they are talking about undoing something or doing the opposite of something. For example, unlock. Unlock is not the action of not locking, right? But it's something like it's locked and you have to do the opposite thing. You have to unlock. Or unload. You loaded before and now you are unloading, right? Okay. So pay attention on these examples, okay? And the next thing I'd like to ask you about the words apolitical, atheist, nonsense, and nonfiction. Do you think they also have a negative idea? They do, right? So they talk about something, it's the opposite, so of a political aspect, apolitical. Theist, atheist. Nonsense, it's the opposite here. Non-fiction, it's not a fiction. So as you can see, we also have a as a prefix here. It would come to the group, okay? And non. So that's it. So because we talked about prefixes of negative ideas and opposite ideas, let's form the opposites here. So when he became a teenager, he wanted to be more independent. You also saw this one in class, right? Let's just review. It was really dishonest of you to take that money without asking. If you hadn't been so careless with that book, you would still have it now. So again, here in this case, it's not a prefix. This is a very famous suffix, right? Less usually means no or something like that. The lecturer talked in an informal way. Guys, it might help on the test, for example, on tests, on exams. This is a tip for you. Okay, so you already know it's vowel sound, the next word, okay? My broken leg means I will be unable to go on holiday with you. So again, I will talk about the difference between the word disable and unable. As you can see, sometimes we have both, not both, but two different prefixes, suffixes we use and change the meaning of a word. Okay, so let's say disable, unable. First of all, disable is a verb and unable is an adjective. Okay, so one thing, you disable something to make sure it can't do an action. It can do something. For example, I disabled the alarm for me to sleep a little bit more. Or I'm unable to call you because my phone is dead or the battery died, something like that. Okay, so unable means you can't do something. Okay, and you might be thinking of the word disabled. It changes a little bit, right? Because disabled, okay, is not a verb anymore in this case because I'm not adding the ed for verbs. It could be, okay, the past, but here I'm talking about the adjective, disabled, okay, which means a person having physical or mental condition that limits movements, senses, or activities, okay? My broken leg means I will be unable, because it's something specific, okay, to go on holiday with you. In many countries, it's illegal. So for this one, guys, the rule works. Okay, so it starts with L. We use IL. Okay, so illegal to smoke cigarettes under the age of 16. He waited patiently for the train to arrive at the station. So if it's already here, the adverb, we could think of impatient. So impatiently. The teacher told me it was irresponsible of me to set off the fire alarm. This one also works. Okay, the rule here. It starts with the R and we use IR. And here also the rule they mentioned there, we use IM because it starts with P. Okay? Let's see. For this case here, this is new, right? So let's talk about foreign verbs. He told her that he sympathized with her problems, okay? So let's see. My belt feels a bit tight after the huge lunch. I think I will have to loosen it a little bit. So as you can see, guys, for some verbs, we just use this structure here. Ed here is about the past, okay? And some verbs, we end in en, okay? This is common. Could be also for words like sweeten, weaken, okay? So some of them. She was severely, oh, this one, the same example. Weakened. Okay, now we need to use ed here by the long illness she had. There are many different ways to classify. So we also have verbs that end this way. Justify, clarify, classify, okay? If you are really sorry for what you said, you won't mind. Apologize is a verb. However, we have here, you won't mind. So when we use won't mind, we have to change the verb here to apologizing, right? There's no need to criticize. It's the same case as sympathize, okay? I'm using Z here, but you know that British English would spell this word with S here, okay? No problem. The pain in his back lessened as soon as he took the medication. This is also the case here, okay, sweeten, weaken, loosen, lessen, okay, but we have to use the past here, okay. Everybody was horrified, because the verb is horrify, like classify, for example. Horrified. So in order to use ed, we change the y to I. Okay, this is important. So here you can see the answers. Okay. And let's talk about forming adjectives and adverbs. Okay. Pause the video for you to do this exercise. And now we check. Okay. So be sure to contact him if you need advice. He's a very helpful person. It was a really enjoyable party. Thanks for inviting me. He has just taken out a monthly subscription to the magazine. She smiled happily when they offered her new job. This is very common, okay? We usually use this expression. So let's see. Hopeful is something very common as an adjective, right? However, the expression is hopefully. We will have enough money saved to get married next year. In order for the medicine to work effectively, you must take the correct amount. Guys, we could think here of effective, okay? It's possible to think of effective, because we have effect. Effective is an adjective. However, we are modifying the verb work, okay? So it will work in an effective way. So what if it's like an effective way? We use effectively. Although our teacher is very strict in class, she is friendly. So let's classify the teacher. How do we know we are classifying? Because we have the verb to be here. Okay? But also, now we know that we are comparing to something we expected before. You know, so in this case, friendlier. Okay, so although our teacher is very strict in class, she's friendlier than you would expect. What a beautiful vase. That's the love. Okay, so let's see. Love transformed into adjective. We could say it's lovely, right? A lovely is something sweet, something cute, right? However, this is also a comparison, but it's the superlative, right? So the present I've ever had. So comparing to all the presents I've got, this one is the loveliest. So that's why we have to change here to the loveliest. Okay? So that's it. Answers again. And let's talk about tricky spellings. So for this one, you have two options for each, okay? He tried to fix his machine, but it was impossible. And this one or the second one? Okay, second one. You don't need to wear a suit to the party. You can look informal if you wish. She won the bicycle race easily. The weather forecast says it's going to be rainy today. The body was discovered lying on the floor. He told her that he was truly in love with her. She was filled with happiness when she heard the good news. He was the biggest in the class. Yeah, the end, but there is much more to see. We never stop studying word formation, guys. This is, it's a lifetime. So, see you next time. I hope you like it.